So, you're quarantining, right? Good. I know how I'm gonna do it, but my challenge to you is how are you going to enjoy it? First of all, I really want to encourage you that even though we're quarantining, we can still enjoy mobile photography. If you're not into photography, don't you think you can learn some of this skill during this quarantine? I mean, it's not like you don't have time or anything. I mean, we'll see what you're capable of. No, for real, I believe in you. We can do this. I want to help you get through this and give you something to enjoy. We all know that photography is half the battle and that a good photo could become a great photo through the power of editing. I'm so grateful. Dear Adobe, thank you for Lightroom Classic and Photoshop. So my challenge to you is use the photos you have already taken and re-edit them with a new look or new tools that you have learned. We all know practice makes perfect. So for me, photos like this one could become something like this. Before, after. Before, after. Use what you have available. If it's your phone, use the para out of your phone. Lightroom Mobile has free access to the app. Don't worry, you don't have to pay to get a good edit out of this app. So, before jumping in, I just want to clarify that this app, Lightroom, is available on both Android and iPhone. So, it's not just an iPhone exclusive. So, let's jump in. Here we are in Lightroom Mobile. Now, if this makes you panic, don't panic. If this looks like Chinese, Japanese, and every language in the world put together in one pot that you have to eat for dinner, don't panic, I've got you. So we're gonna walk through every single part and it's gonna be nice. So we're gonna go in and the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna crop. We're gonna go to the bottom left and hit the crop icon at the bottom left. Now, we're gonna make this size 4:5 because that's the size, the largest size that's available to be able to upload to Instagram. It takes up the most room on Instagram. Now, if you're editing a photo and it's not going on Instagram, then why are you editing the photo? For real. I'm kidding, there's reasons, but let's continue. So we're gonna crop to 4:5. We're gonna hit the 3 to 4 icon on the bottom left. Next, we're gonna hit 4 times 5. And we're gonna reposition to how we see fit. If it's crooked or something's not straight, you can take and drag left to right on the little scroll wheel where it says 0 degrees. We can take that and we can adjust it. We're gonna confirm the crop with the check mark at the bottom right. Next, solid workflow for working on any photo. First, we're gonna wanna correct the color, correct the white balance, and last, we're gonna want to add our look or our creative adjustments to make the photo look the way we want it to look. So don't panic about white balance. I'm gonna explain, it's very simple, and I'm gonna explain it in a very simple way. So we're gonna go into light and we're gonna go way at the bottom to blacks. To see what any slider does in any editing program, whether it's Lightroom, VSCO, or whatever you're using, you can take the slider and go to either extreme to see what it does. If you do an edit that you don't like, you can double tap on it to make it go back to 0 and reset it. So let's continue. The blacks affects the darkest, blackest point of the image. So we're gonna take that, we're gonna drag that down a little bit. The goal here is to make it look like how it looks like in real life. Next, the whites. The whites affects the brightest, whitest part of the image. The shadows does not affect the blackest part of the image, but just above the blackest part of the image. So just above what's the most dark. The highlights does not affect the brightest part of the image like the whites, but just beneath the highlights, the brightest. Next, contrast and exposure. Contrast and exposure we're not going to touch too much because they're very dramatic adjustments and I don't like using them very often unless it's absolutely necessary. So let's jump to the next part. We're going to go next door at the bottom and we're going to go to color. Now we're going to fix the white balance. Now, a simple explanation to white balance, we could get into math. But I'm not going to do that to you because I care. Now, what we're going to do, white balance basically means how blue or yellow the image looks based off of the time of day that it was shot. So this photo here looks a little bit yellow for my taste. So I'm gonna bring it down to blue with the temperature slider. I'm gonna bring it down a little bit, just a touch. Right about there. Now the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm going to add my creative adjustments onto the next step. So we're done with white balance, we're gonna move on to our creative adjustments. So I'm gonna go to the mix icon at the top right of the panel. His eyes are green, so I'm gonna click on the green button, and I'm gonna take the saturation, the middle slider, and I'm gonna bring it up a healthy amount. That pops that. Next, if you're looking for a color, I wanna take two colors and make them pop and make them stand out. That's the goal here for my workflow. Next, I wanna take his nose, but I don't know exactly what color it is. It looks kind of pink or red. So what I could do is I could click on the crosshairs, click on saturation so I'm not guessing, and then click, hold, and drag up or down to adjust the intensity of his nose. Right about there. Once that's done, I'm gonna hit the crosshairs, and then I can see the adjustments that I have made to the color by clicking on the colors that I have adjusted. So in this case, I affected the greens and the reds, so that's where those sliders are. And if I need to, I can go in and readjust them. Next, click done. Last but not least, we're gonna add our we're going to go back through and make creative adjustments to how it looks. We're gonna go to light. We're gonna go down and we're gonna go back through each of these sliders and we're going to adjust to how we see fit. Last but not least, don't panic. We're gonna go to what's called the curve. At the top right of the panel, we're gonna touch this curve icon. And now don't panic. I'm going to show you exactly what to do in this section. We're gonna hit the curves. We're gonna make sure that the bottom left one is selected, the red, green, and blue, and make sure that the line is white. We're gonna make 3 points on the line where the lines intersect. So we're gonna put a point here, and one here. Next, we're gonna take the left dot and we're gonna drag it down just a touch. We're gonna take the top right one and we're gonna drag it up just a touch. Last but not least, we're gonna click done. At any point, if you need to see it before and after, you can tap and hold on the photo and see it before and after. The last thing I'm gonna do is the last thing I like to do in editing a photo. I'm gonna go to effects, which is right next door to color at the bottom. Go down and drag vignette down. I'm gonna drag it down to about 10. This adds a little look on the edges of the photo that I personally like. So just like that, bam, boom. And just like that, bada bing, bada boom. What mobile photography is able to do in quarantine. Follow me on Instagram at AAA Pro with the underscores in between, just like that. And tag me on what you come up with. I'd love to see what your beautiful faces come up with. Thanks for watching, guys. This has been AAA Pro. On this tech channel, I cover smartphones and Macs for photo and video. I have 2 more parts to this topic coming soon, so when you subscribe, like, comment, and share, I will motivate you to get out. Well, that's not good advice right now, but anyways, but later, to take good photos with your tech. And of course, until the next video, bada bing, bada boom.
For the record, I'm done trying to make y'all comfortable. For the record, you ain't trying to grow, then it's done for you. For the record, lab on me going all the way. For the record, ain't trying to link, no time to waste.